Surprising fact, there are over 200 million people worldwide who practice mindfulness or meditation. 200 million people. Surprising, right? You think with numbers like that, there'd be a little less conflict, a little less stress, less people losing their temper in traffic, right? That's what I would think. Not so much. Not so much. And you know that, especially if you're in rush hour, that's not actually how it works. So here's what's real for me right now. There are days when mindfulness feels impossible. Impossible. No one talks about that. Why doesn't anyone talk about that? They tell you to breathe, they tell you to pause. But what about the days when you don't have the capacity or the space to do that? What about those days? If you're here because you're trying to stay grounded in the middle of the psychosis of life, of the chaos, and it still feels impossible, stick around. This one is for us. And if you're new here, real life, not Instagram pretty mindfulness, then this is also for you. You can hit subscribe and follow because this is the kind of space where we tell the truth about what it's actually like to be inside the mess, not out of it. So the other day, I was buried in my computer. My head was spinning. My migraine was pounding. I had like 87 tabs open, two laptops, two phones, deadlines everywhere, everywhere. People were asking me for stuff I didn't have the capacity to process. I didn't have the capacity to do any of the stuff. They were expecting me to drop everything and attend to their needs. Why? Because that's what I always do. The loudest thought that was going through my head at that moment was, you don't have time to rest. You're the only one who could do this. You don't have time. You don't have the time. You got to get it together, pick it up, pull it up, make it happen. That's what was going through my head. Even though I was drowning, my mind kept saying, push through. You've done it before. And I think the worst part for me in that moment was I was resenting it. I was getting so mad. I was resenting that I was the only one who was pushing through and doing things. I was resenting that life wasn't slowing down. I mean, I couldn't even get a few minutes to be by myself without the demands and the constant issues and problems and situations coming up. I couldn't even have a moment for that. So I was resentful. I was angry. I was irritated and agitated, and I just could not get it together. I felt like everything was speeding up, not slowing down. And at that moment, I couldn't tell where the overwhelm began and the overwhelm ended. I tried to do my practice. I took 15 minutes, not the usual 30. I took 15 minutes to step away. And honestly, it didn't feel peaceful. My mind wandered a lot. I was watching my thoughts, or at least trying to watch my thoughts, and it was spinning and turning and spiraling. It was like its own little tornado inside of my head happening all at once. And I saw it. I wasn't actually with my overwhelm. I was fighting it. I was pretending that it wasn't happening. I was just going through emotions, doing this, doing that, pretending that everything was good, everything was fine. You get me? You understand what I'm saying, right? I was just moving through and not being with anything that was actually happening in my experience. Has that ever happened to you? Where your body is screaming, your mind is trying to ignore? Because I tell you what, my body paid the price. My migraine got worse. I can feel my heart racing faster, faster, faster. Boom, 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 boom. I can feel it. My blood pressure was elevated. I could feel it in my face, the heat rising. It was rising so much so that I took my blood pressure, called my doctor, and they wanted me to get a check immediately. Like that's how bad it got that fast. And that's why I make videos like this. They're not the polished, perfect side of meditation and mindfulness. No, It's not that. This is the side where you're human first, not the polished, perfect all the time side, because that's not life. We are human, and life is not perfect all the time. The crack came not out of some perfect meditation, but it was actually in a messy moment. I heard myself say, not gently, and honestly, I didn't just say it, it was more like a whisper. It was soft, like it was barely audible, both tired and fed up. I can hear myself say, there will always be more to do. What can I handle right now? And that was the door. That was the door, the bridge back to myself. It wasn't in a beautiful retreat center. It wasn't in a deep breathing session. I wasn't all zenned out and in a calm space. No, it was 6, maybe 7 minutes top. I was able to step away and I let myself stop. I let it be enough for the moment. That is all I could do. That was all I can handle. That was all I can muster. Just letting it be enough for that moment. Hey, girl. So then, yeah, I did absolutely get back to the task after. No lie. Why? Because it still needed to get done, and I was still the only one who could do it. But I did it from a softer place. And that is the art of the practice. It's not all or nothing. It's not you got to do it all perfectly or you just throw it out the window because none of it mattered. That's not what it was. It was those tiny, awkward, weird, in the middle of it all, pause moments, breaks, seconds, whatever, but it was right in the middle of the chaos, of the mess, of the stress, of the overwhelm, of the burnout, of the anxiety. It was right in the middle of that. That's where the breakthrough came through for me. So if you're deep in it, deep, deep, deep in it, and mindfulness feels impossible, that is the practice. That's the practice. That's when you show up. That's when you stand out. That's when you fall in, when you jump in, when you weigh in, when you check in, when you get to be with yourself. That is what matters in the thick of it, not when everything is beautiful roses, sun, gleaming, sunshine, rays. That is not it. The practice is in the middle of the impossible when everything feels impossible. And it's not about doing it perfectly, it's about asking, what can I handle right now? That's it. What can I handle right now? Letting even the smallest step count. Be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Have a little bit of self compassion for even noticing that you got to slow down, that it's okay to take a moment just to recenter and reset and ground. That's okay. That is showing love to yourself. That's a big part of the journey, having that self compassion to give yourself some space to be at ease with your life and your situation, how things are. So if you needed this today, like and share with someone else who may be powering through. You know, you got a girlfriend, you got a friend, a spouse, a child, a coworker, someone who may be powering through, trying to get it done, making it happen in the last moments. And in the midst of all that, forgetting themselves in the process. Send it to them. Send it to them to remind them it's okay to have a moment to just check in with yourself and not be with the issues, but to be with yourself and to just notice what's happening without trying to think or wish it was another way. Because these issues will always come up. It will always happen. There is no end game. It is just the beginning. It is a continuous practice, a continuous work in progress. So give yourself some grace for that and some space to allow it to flourish. We all need a little extra love sometimes. So if you've ever felt that, you're not alone. May this be a benefit to you and all those you love.